BBC Radio 2 asks the question, what makes us human?
Language. Language. In the end, it all comes down to language. My language, as the sum of my discourses, as linguistic strata that betray my history, as geology or archaeology betrays history, is my language, and it is a piece of who I am, perhaps even the defining piece. For me, it is a cause of some upset that more Anglophones, English speakers, don't enjoy language. Music is enjoyable, it seems. So are dance and other athletic forms of movement. People seem able to find sensual and sensuous pleasure in almost anything but words these days. Sadly, desperately sadly, the only people who seem to bother with language in public today bother with it in quite the wrong way. They write letters to broadcasters and newspapers in which they're rude and haughty about other people's usage, and in which they show off their own superior knowledge of how language should be. I hate that. And I particularly hate the fact that so many of these pedants assume that I'm on their side. When asked to join in a "let's persuade this supermarket chain to get rid of their 5 items or less" sign, I never join in. Yes, I am aware of the technical distinction between less and fewer, and between uninterested and disinterested, and infer and imply, but none of these are of importance to me. None of these are of importance, I said there, you'll notice. The old pedantic me would have insisted on none of them is of importance. Well, I'm glad to say I've outgrown that silly approach to language. There are all kinds of pedants around with more time to read and imitate Lynn Truss and John Humphreys than to write poems, love letters, novels and stories, it seems. They whip out their Sharpies and take away and add apostrophes from public signs, shake their heads at prepositions which end sentences, and mutter at split infinitives and misspellings. But do they bubble and froth and slobber and cream with joy at language? Do they ever let the tripping of the tips of their tongues against the tops of their teeth transport them to giddy, euphoric bliss? Do they ever yoke impossible words together for the sound sex of it? Do they use language to seduce, charm, excite, please, affirm and tickle those they talk to? Do they? I doubt it. They're too farting busy sneering at a greengrocer's less than perfect use of the apostrophe. Well, sod them to Hades. They think they're guardians of language. They are no more guardians of language than the Kennel Club is the guardian of dog kind. If you are the kind of person who insists on this and that correct use is something that exists, I hope I can convince you to abandon your pedantry. Dive into the open flowing waters and leave the stagnant canals be. But above all, let there be pleasure. Let there be textural delight. Let there be silken words and flinty words and sodden speeches and soaking speeches and crackling utterance and utterance that quivers and wobbles like rennet. Let there be rapid firecracker phrases and language that oozes like a lake of lava. Words are your birthright. Unlike music, painting, dance and raffia work, you don't have to be taught any part of language or buy any equipment to use it. All the power of it was in you from the moment the head of Daddy's little wiggler fused with the wall of Mummy's little bubble. So, if you've got it, use it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't believe it belongs to anyone else. Don't let anyone bully you into believing that there are rules and secrets of grammar and verbal deployment that you are not privy to. Don't be humiliated by dinosaurs into thinking yourself inferior because you can't spell broccoli or moccasins. Just let the words fly from your lips and your pen. Give them rhythm and depth and height and silliness. Give them filth and form and noble stupidity. Words are free, and all words, light and frothy, firm and sculpted as they may be, bear the history of their passage from lip to lip over thousands of years. How they feel to us now tells us whole stories of our ancestors. It is language that makes me, you, and every single one of us human.